Hello Blues, happy Monday. I hope everyone's okay and had a good week so far. Today, stellar lineup as always. Got myself, Tom, Dan Feilden, City Dave, and we welcome back Dan Halifax. We're talking as always all things City. So we go through the City Villa game. We talk about Jesus on the wing, Sergio and how good he's been for us. We talk about brilliant Mahrez, Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan and his clumsiness, and why we can't keep a clean sheet is frustrating everybody. We talk a bit about Pep and his accolades that he's won 300 top flight games in his managerial career. We talk about all fan questions that we've had through, so thank you very much for those questions that have come through. And of course we talk about City Palace and the Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff, which we're all really happy about. So I hope you enjoy listening. Let us know if you have any comments and we'll speak to you soon. Well, hey, Dan Halifax, welcome back, pal.
I know, I've been busy.
I forgot what you're like.
Dad life, innit?
Oh, mate, it's good to have you back, pal. You all right?
Yeah, I'm keeping my media training going, same shirt every time I'm on. So people
like it. Well, it's that time of the week again when I've got a smile on my face, which can only mean one thing: a win. It's always positive. How do you think we did, lads?
Very happy. I'm going to let Dan go because he's not been on for a while. Yeah.
Dan, go.
Well, I thought Aguero, not just the hat-trick, but his movement, his passing. I thought he was fantastic. De Bruyne, fantastic again. I do think Villa were very poor, but I'm not taking it away from us. I thought we played well in every department. And, well, I know we're going to get onto it later, but just that clean sheet ruined my weekend.
I know. It's so frustrating when you look at it and you think, it's 6-0, this is amazing. 89th minute, Gundogan decides to be clumsy. What's he thinking? What are we thinking there to be doing that in that situation? We should be lucky knowing that we've won 6-1 and really happy, but it's still a kick in the teeth, isn't it? Why can't we get clean sheets?
Well, it's like I said to you as a group, it's a mentality thing now, isn't it? We need that clean sheet just to kick on for games when it's tighter, getting a clean sheet in them games.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It's, Wolves, that were just one off, we got a man down, but we should have been able to see that out, really, at least at 2-2. And then, in the Man United game, it'd be put to bed that now if we'd just kept that clean sheet. But
yeah, it's very frustrating, isn't it? Very frustrating. Should we move past man of the match? Because I think I'm going to know everyone's answer for that.
I'll go Ederson.
Yeah. Mendy all day long, innit? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we did all right as a team. Some takeaways I take from it is we've not seen much. Oh, I've not really seen much of Sergio, and for him to come back in and go smash. I'm back. I've never gone anywhere. Why are you ever doubting me? I'm here ready to go. Let's crack on and score 3 goals like that. He's just reaffirmed himself as the greatest striker I have ever seen. He's unbelievable. He's absolutely unbelievable. Just to be able to bounce back from whatever's been wrong with him and not being selected to come back in and go bang, bang, bang. Like you say, Danny, Liverpool, Villa weren't the strongest of opponents, but the goals he scored were fantastic.
Yeah. What I liked from Aguero as well, if you saw at half-time, he was having a right go at Mahrez for not passing him the ball.
I did see that.
Yeah, he was having a right go, and that's what you want in a striker. He's just not the striker who puts his head down when he misses. He just keeps going, and then to have that on top of that of complaining that, bloody hell, Riyad, why didn't you just pass me the ball? I would have scored. I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Even when he's on 4 or 5 goals, he still wants more. I absolutely love that in him.
Mahrez should have had a hat-trick, shouldn't he? I think he's having a fantastic season, Mahrez. He's doing so well. It's so great. It's so good to see him play. I was very hit and miss with how I thought he'd do this season, but he's smashing it out of the water.
Brilliant player. We're now seeing the player who we think we all signed 18 months ago.
Is who we expected, isn't it, as the player?
Yeah, he's playing like he did when he was at the top of his game for Leicester. He's winning games for us. And yeah, wonderful player. And I'm sure he's hearing this as well. If he's going on social media or listening to podcasts or whatever, I'm sure this is helping him as well, because he's realising City fans we weren't against him. We just knew what he could do.
Yeah.
And now he's absolutely proving that, and he's doing it week in, week out for us now.
No, absolutely. It goes beyond the. He's starting to go beyond the expectations of how well I thought he could do for us. Because I think is this his second season now?
Yeah.
Next season's going to be even better. He's going into that second season. Pep's had his chance to mould me. You've started to see the best out of me. Next season, I think he's going to be fantastic. I'm really excited to see Mahrez next season and see what he can actually do for us.
Agreed.
He seems to be Pep's little favourite at the moment, doesn't he? He's always playing. I mean, he played 90 minutes, 2 goals, got an assist. He did fantastic. Well, I'm looking at a few stats here. 90% pass accuracy, 65 accurate passes, 90 touches on the pitch, 2 interceptions. So he's doing his tracking back as well. He's turning into be a fantastic all-round forward for us.
Yeah, I mean, we're a star-studded team, but if you kind of thought if we didn't have Aguero, we didn't have KDB, you'd be thinking Mahrez could be on for Player of the Season as voted for by the fans, because he has been that good. It's just maybe unfortunately for him, he has the Ginger Ninja and the best ever striker, to your point, Tom ahead of him.
When Sergio does leave us and we've won the Champions League and he leaves us, bear with me, Kevin De Bruyne is such a fantastic player, and everyone knows he's a fantastic player. But he will be the top of the tree when Sergio goes as our best player and fans' favourite player. If not, he is now for some people. I just can't get my head around his work rate, his captain ability, his ability to find a pass from 35 yards through 4 defenders for an assist. I can't understand. Honestly, I can't understand the physics of that. I need to go back to school and understand physics again of how he's been able to make some of these passes.
Yeah.
It's like Souness said after match, didn't it? He says, it's not just De Bruyne has got ball and hit an out. He's looked up, seen there's a run, and then played it at full pelt. Like, you could do that pass maybe if it were coming onto and you've just hit it quick and it's gone lucky. But he knew what he was doing. He wasn't just hitting and open. He knew, I'm going for Jesus.
Yeah,
that's what makes him special.
Dan, what's your thoughts on Jesus?
Well, it's I've been saying it for weeks now, haven't I? Get him on that left to give Sterling a bit of a rest. And I've been almost preaching it to everybody I've spoken to. And for me, he was probably the most work-efficient player last night. Not so much scoring the goals, not so much getting the assists, not so much the passing, but the effort to get into positions. And I don't know if you noticed, he was, I think, probably only once, apart from that, he wasn't offside all game. And I've been saying it. Maybe it's best for him to. I think that's probably what it is. He just needs to dip off to a side a little bit so he can get a better picture of the pitch and understand it a bit more. Because as much as he's starting to score goals, he's starting to get into play and what have you. He's still only 22. He's got a lot to learn about the game. And having him on that left, he just looked a bit more work efficient, and he got onto a lot of chances. He's almost doing a Mahrez/Sterling style dribbling pattern into the penalty box. He seems like he's a lot hungrier when he on his left. And like Dan said, it was Villa, and Villa were playing Porto. But at the same time, Jesus stepped up his game, and I think it's about time we were able to see what he's like on that left. And then, like I said, give Sterling a break. But also, it's the link-up play between him and Aguero. It's just hopefully he might play there a few more games.
Do you know what? You're absolutely spot on there, because I remember I've heard you say a few times about sticking my nut in. I completely get it now. What I was really impressed with is I read a few things on social media about Jesus being wasteful, not clinical enough, and I'm the first one to hold my hands up and say, yeah, he has been. That's fine. All the rest of it. But his game was totally different yesterday from being able to help Aguero and being that strike partner to give Aguero more freedom and more space to be able to get Aguero involved in the game more. he kind of dragged defenders with Jesus, and obviously Aguero's just able to go and mop up anything else. I would love to see it, but I don't think I ever will. I would love to see Jesus and Aguero start against the top 4 team. I just don't think Pep ever will do that.
He's done it once. Liverpool, when we got 100 points, we've beaten 5-0. And if you remember, Jesus scored 2, Aguero scored 1, and then Sané scored. And Aguero put 1 on plate for Jesus.
So that's not a bad game. I remember that one, mate.
Yeah.
So it does work then against the big teams.
What I liked about Jesus on the left, I mean, I've said to you, with us losing Sané, I know Sané and Sterling are similar. They both rely on a lot of pace. But that left side has looked like we haven't got another plan. Like, I mean, look, Sterling's not been in 10. So Jesus is a player who's going to cut in for one. He's got a bit of pace about him, but he's going to try and get central. Yeah. So it's making the defenders think about something different. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to be just thinking, oh, Sterling's going to try and get past me here. Jesus could drop off, cut it middle, and then he's going to try and win an header. It's making the centre-backs think about it and the right-back. So
Jesus is the Mahrez of the left, though, isn't he? Everything you're saying, he's doing exactly what Mahrez is doing on the right, but on the left, he's able to cut in and use his right foot to absolutely perfect pace and perfect power, perfect position. You know,
he could have easily got a hat-trick against Villa. He skied one shot, and then was it a cross or a deflection that just came off him too quick? But you think them away, it's a hat-trick. You know, we could have been celebrating 8.
Yeah. I was fully expecting him to get a hat-trick yesterday as well. Fully expecting it.
Yeah.
Good old Sergio steals the limelight.
But saying that, though, although we're saying he should have got a hat-trick, we could argue that despite not getting the goals, his work ethic last night was 10 times more than what he's done for most of the games this season. And maybe he's not that sort of goal scorer we're after. Maybe he's sort of changing his position slightly and thinking, do you know what, I'm more, like I say, more effective on that left. I'll get in touch with a few goals like Sterling would do, like Mahrez would do. Yeah. But I'm more effective to do that.
No, but I can see that.
The scouts, I mean, I know Firmino scores a few, but Firmino's nowhere near top goal scorer in Premier League. He's only like 10, 11, 12 a season, isn't he? You won't think Liverpool will be like, right, we're getting rid of him. Jesus is a similar player for me as Firmino. But obviously Firmino's 27, 28, I think. So he knows his game a bit more.
No, can't argue with that whatsoever. I don't know how called Firmino is actually. He's a player I'd like to see under Pep for a couple of seasons though.
We nearly signed him from I think we were at Hoffenheim or somewhere. We were in Germany. We nearly signed him. It'd have been ideal, that, wouldn't it?
It's what we're gonna have to do to get a clean sheet, then, lads.
He is 28.
28 is he? So you're bang on the money, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
What we're gonna have to do to get a clean sheet? Are we gonna get one this weekend?
Put Bravo in goal.
No. Yeah.
Sorry, Walker.
We've got a bit of a. It's one of our hoodoo teams, isn't it? Palace was certainly at the Etihad. I think we do better at Selhurst Park. I just don't see at the moment us keeping a clean sheet, and I don't know what the answer is until we get Laporte back. I just think we don't quite have that pace at the back. Stones played better yesterday. I just think we're always going to be susceptible for letting in a goal. It's just the way the team's set up.
I suppose as long as we're scoring 6 every match, it doesn't really matter.
Exactly. Yeah.
If we keep a clean, sorry, Dan. If we keep a clean sheet, right, that's saying to Pep, this is my back 4, right. So it's giving Pep a selection headache. Like every game, it's a different centre back, or we're playing we played Garcia, Fernandinho, Rodri at back. Then we played Otamendi, Fernandinho, Stones, Fernandinho. If we keep a clean sheet, that should be to Pep. Right, this is his back 4. stick with this for a couple of games, and I think that will help. But because we're not doing it, I can imagine they're all knocking on the door, going, "I'm ready." I mean, I quite liked Cancelo at the back, but he's too hit and miss. Like, I'd bring Walker back in for Saha against Palace. I mean, I thought Sissoko played well against Port Vale, but it's only Port Vale. And Mendy's been playing all right. It's just the centre-backs every game, innit? Nobody knows what to do.
For me, though, I'd keep Stones in with Fernandinho. Exactly what you're saying, Dan. We need a bit more consistency in that back lineup. But for me, again, going back to what you said, it's only Villa, and Villa were very, very poor last night. Stones, for me, had probably one of his best games in the past 2 years in a City shirt last night. He was like almost company-esque, you know, it was commanding, as well as Fernandinho, it was commanding. He was making interceptions. He was so calm on the ball, you know, compared to Otamendi. Otamendi would, yes, make a few more challenges, but he'd clear the ball. Stones is doing exactly what Guardiola wanted to do, win the ball and just knock it forward a little bit, give himself some time. And the amount of times he did sort of a Maguire for United, where just getting forward into that midfield, allowing the player to push up. And for me, if he starts against Palace, I think that'll be a bet. But I'd have Walker against Palace alongside Fernandinho and Stones.
And then Mendy on the left?
Yeah, Mendy on the left, yeah. With Bravo in goal.
Did you say Walker, Fernandinho, Otamendi and Mendy?
No, Stones and Fernandinho.
Just making a quick note for later. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I can't argue with that. I think our days of trying to judge the City form for City team are long gone, lads. I think we're just doing it for our own sake now.
Yeah. No. We're never going to work out Pep. Never.
But you must be happy about that, though, Dave, because we were becoming too predictable. Weren't we? Beginning of the season, we were dropping points and it were like...
Yeah.
There didn't seem no other option. But now it seems like anybody can get a shout. Anybody could be playing anywhere.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that Guardiola has done over the last few weeks is he's had a pairing of that central midfielders. So it was just Rodri on his own in that defensive midfield spot. And I think he was getting overrun and inexperienced and whatever else. I think since we moved to two defensive midfielders and whether...
Oh, is he on?
What a face.
Oh, on that note.
I think...
There we go.
Oh, you're back, Dave.
Oh, did I go somewhere? Where did you lose me? I've been talking away.
You were a bit like this.
Oh, really? So what bit didn't you hear? Any of
it?
it?
You were just on about the defensive midfielders, and then you broke up.
Okay, so what my point was, I think the biggest thing that Pep has done over the last few weeks with the formation, which we knew was a big thing for me, and my big complaint was he's moved from having that one defensive midfielder, Rodri, who I felt was getting overrun because of his inexperience. As soon as we started playing two as that defensive midfielder, having Rodri and another, whether that be Gundogan or Bernardo Silva, Foden played there in that position against Arsenal. I think that's completely changed the team outlook and ethic. We feel a lot more, I know we're still letting in goals, but I think we feel a lot more solid now and allowing the De Bruynes, the Agueros, the Jesus, etc., to be a little bit more confident in getting forward. So yes, I am very, very pleased, Dan, that's basically what happened. That Pep has obviously listened to this podcast and realised, you know what, I need to maybe look at this formation a little bit, because I really feel that we began to get found out a little bit this season. That we had two amazing seasons. Third one in, most teams are aware of what we're going to do and how we're going to play, and he's had to mix that up and change it a little bit. And thankfully, knock on wood, it seems to be working now.
Particularly from a striker's point of view, I was looking at a great stat before. Since the start of the 16-17 season, City have scored 343 Premier League goals, 42 more than any other team. That's a fantastic stat to have in our back pocket, isn't it? So scoring goals is never going to be an issue. But we need to secure. We need to bring in more reinforcements in the summer for our defence.
Yeah, we do.
I think we need to bring someone in this window. I'd like us one big. I'm not saying big signing as in big marquee name. I'm saying a player we're after. He's got 6 months to learn it, because realistically, we need a centre back. If Sané goes, we're going to need a left back. I think we need cover for Rodri. I know we've only just bought Rodri as cover for Fernandinho, but Fernandinho is going to be even older. If we get a bad injury to Rodri, are we going to be able to rely on Ferner for another full season? Or is Ferner centre back now? And do you know what I mean? So I'd like one signing, just ease him into this team. It's like we were saying about Mahrez. He's took a season to get used to it. Cancelo is going to take a season to get used to it. Bernardo Silva took half a season, maybe a bit more, to get used to it, and he was phenomenal last season. But when we first signed him, he wasn't the player he is now, is he?
No,
you're right, pal. You're right. He's already said he's not bringing anyone in, though, isn't he? Which is the big shame. There must be nothing there in the market.
I don't know. He does say that. I think he said that when we signed Laporte. But like I say, me personally, I'd get at least one, and then we're not spending as much in the next window, and it's not too many new faces, because that upsets apple cart, doesn't it? So
no, right there. I want to just have a bit of a mention. One thing I didn't mention to you guys before about talking about Pep. It was his 300th top flight win as a manager yesterday. So, are you ready for? I don't know if you've seen these. He's got a 77% win percentage. So he's played 390 games, 300 wins, 53 draws, and 37 defeats. That's amazing. We're so lucky. Why do people even question him? You know, when some of the formations come out, he goes, "What's he doing here?" I know I do every now and then, but he always proves me wrong.
I'm about to say, we all did it against United.
Yeah, we did. It's bizarre, absolutely bizarre. We should never doubt what he's done. And Dave hit the nail on the head a few weeks ago. You know, when he was said just how Pep can just look at the team that played United, that got beat against United. He just mixed things up. He played every chess piece in the right position, and we went away and smashed him. Long may it continue. As long as it happens in a few weeks' time, then brilliant.
Yeah. If there's one thing Pep I feel is good at, it's understanding his mistakes and learning from them. Because there's got to be an ego on the vast majority of managers out there, and it's either their way or the highway. And I just feel with Pep that he's that much of a perfectionist that he really does look at every aspect, and when things aren't going right, he'll admit himself and he'll change things up.
Fantastic.
So if you want another stat, I was actually looking at that same thing before. Any idea as to what Alex Ferguson's win rate percentage was?
Oh, I'm gonna go high 60s.
What do you think, Dan?
He wasn't very good when he first came, was he? So I'm thinking 59.
Wow. Dan is bang on the button. 59% win rate. Now, I know that Ferguson was there at United much longer than Pep's been at City, but I've kind of looked at a few of these stats of some of the greatest ever managers. No one has got a stat of 77% win rate. No one. And the amount of goals that have been scored, I'm not even sure if anyone's ever going to eclipse that, to be perfectly honest. It's staggering what Pep's achieved.
It's funny you say the goals scored, but also the players working around the goal scorers are assisting left, right, and centre. Let me just whittle a couple of these off for you. Jesus has started 76 matches for City in all competitions and directly involved in 71 goals. That's 54 goals and 17 assists, right? In all competitions, Kevin De Bruyne has assisted in 15 goals this season, 5 more than any other player in the Premier League. And I'm not even finished yet. Give me one more. Mahrez is the only Premier League player to score both and assist 20 goals since the start of last season in all competitions. 21 goals and 23 assists. I don't. He's able to get absolute miracles out of some of these players. I remember having David White and Paul Dickoff, and all these players who are lucky to have Niall Quinn having 1-star striker. We've got a team of people that can put the ball in the back of the net. But not just that, they're not selfish. They're happy to assist, which is brilliant. Apart from Mahrez, he's a greedy bugger, but he's working on that. It's brilliant.
Without Sané, the previous 2 seasons had scored over 10 goals both seasons. Well, he's been here 3, but his last 2, he's been over 10 goals. His second season, he was 16 assists, and I think last season he was 13 assists. So we've lost another 10 goals, another 10 assists this season, just with one player. So it'd be frightening if he was fit, wouldn't it?
Agreed.
Yeah, crikey, that'd be phenomenal, wouldn't it? Who's going to be your... If you took the halfway point of this season, who's been your player of this last half of the season?
I've got to say Fernandinho. As much as De Bruyne has done, I think he blew a little bit hot and cold towards the start of the season. I mean, he's best player on the planet right now. But if you look at Fernandinho, and yes, we've been talking about clean sheets, but going into that position and being a rock there as well, and having to work, Stones comes in, or Otamendi comes in, or Garcia comes in, or Bravo comes in goal.
Yeah.
All these different positions around him have changed, from a personnel standpoint. But Fernandinho has been the rock. He's been there. I'm reading now that if this is his new position now, he's maybe prolonged his career by 2 or 3 seasons. And I'm more than happy to hear that. Is he going to play 50 games next season? Maybe not. But my God, I don't want him going anywhere, because he's a constant, he's a consistent for us, and we need that.
And Pep loves him. He's so much. Put it this way, great question. If he wasn't in our team, we wouldn't be second, would we now? Because we would be relying on Otamendi, Stone, centre back pairing with. I'd like to think they would have come out the shell a bit more, but I think you've got a great answer there in Fernandinho. What about the two Dans? What do you think, lads?
I'll let other Dan go first.
It's a toss-up between Fernandinho and Ederson for me. I think Ederson's been a step up from the past 2 seasons. This year, he's become more of an actual goalkeeper. Albeit we're struggling for clean sheets, he's doing a lot more saves than he's done in recent years. And he just seems like his overall game's improved. And I think the only reason we're conceding is because of the inconsistency of the back line. If you stick a Laporte in front of him, Laporte and Fernandinho would have been perfect this season with Ederson behind him. And he's just, albeit he's able to control the tempo of the back line as well. He comes out a bit more and he's a bit more passive. He's still got that Otamendi streak about him where you're just like, what the hell are you doing running out of goal that far? Header it on the halfway line or something like that. But his overall goalkeeping abilities changed for me, and he's much improved this year. And I think the only reason he's not getting the recognition is because of the goals we've been conceding and the manner of the goals we've been conceding. But for me, Fernandinho just gets it, but Ederson's my second choice.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to go, because it's only the first half of the season, I'm going to go just somebody different. I'm going to go Sterling, because we haven't been firing on all cylinders most of the first half of the season, and Sterling were popping up with goals left, right and centre. Like you said, Kevin De Bruyne's been brilliant, but Kevin De Bruyne won't feeding him. David Silva, Bernardo Silva. David Silva all right, but Bernardo Silva won him 10, and he was still grabbing goals, so I'm going to go Sterling.
Yeah, I think it's hard for me to look past Fernandinho, but I've really enjoyed watching Mahrez this season. So we've got a good eclectic mix of players there, haven't we, lads? So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top at the end in May.
Yeah,
I think it's a good five-a-side team.
Great five-a-side team.
You've got your player of the season and the most promising player in Mahrez. There you go.
Yeah. Interesting.
Halfway point between the league now. What's the best goal City have scored so far this season?
As in, including yesterday?
Well, including yesterday if you want. Well, yeah, we'll do it from yesterday's game. What's the best goal we've scored this season?
Oh, wow.
This season?
Andrew Pierre's own goal.
Top volley.
Contest is already over then, yeah.
I don't know, mate. I'm going to have to come back to you on that one, and I've looked through a couple of games.
Yeah, I would probably go, without going and watching YouTube for 2 hours, I would probably go with De Bruyne's pass and Jesus' goal yesterday.
Yeah.
That was out of this world. It was just ridiculous. And it was a team goal, and I've always enjoyed those. You know, I love the free kicks and whatever else, but I've always enjoyed a good team goal. And that one, you know, being built up and De Bruyne having that pace, I mean, anyone could have scored that goal. He put it on a sixpence for Jesus, but he had to keep his head, and he had to, you know, I've seen a lot of those skied over the bar or go around the post or whatever. It was just a perfect goal. So I'll go for that.
I think I'd like to say any goal against United. Does that count?
Yeah.
I also like that header that Jesus scored against Everton.
Oh, yeah, that's a good call. I don't know how he managed that.
Because we don't score many headers, do we? So, diving header from a De Bruyne beauty. So, I think I'll go for that.
It was well controlled considering he's moving away from the goal as well, wasn't it? It takes a lot of
what I mean.
Yeah.
What was your question, Dan? What was yours, Dan?
I'd have to agree with the other Dan, Andrew Pereira. That one, yes, last night with De Bruyne and Jesus. It's exactly what Dave said. You have to be a very, very special, once in a generation player to do a pass like that. And even if it Aguero, or even you could put the Otamendi on the back of that, you'd find the net. But just the pass from that goal, it was out of this world. No player could have squeezed it past in between the defence and the goalkeeper to find that narrow gap for our striker to tap in. World class.
Do you know what? The Aguero finish, the long range wasn't too bad either.
It wasn't bad, was it? He's got a shot on him as Aguero. He hits the ball a lot harder than people think.
Yeah.
I still remember that one he did against Chelsea when we beat him, when we absolutely battered them.
Yeah.
And he did a similar shot. That was another world class one. But I don't think in recent memory, bar the QPR goal, his best goal has got to be the one against Leicester. Absolutely smashing it off the crossbar.
Yeah.
There's
Agreed.
no way in hell that's going to be ever stopped, even if you think about 20 goalkeepers on the line.
Yeah.
And for saying, one thing I will bring up, I know we discussed about Aguero before, they were on about it on Match of the Day last night. I don't know if you lads have spoke to it. How much his game's changed from the first season, where Mick Richards is saying where he started the chain reaction of goals off by assisting Aguero. He said it was all down to him, but it was Dean Dublin that was talking about it. How much he's not actually a centre forward striker. He drops back a lot this year. He's doing a lot midfield play, finding the balls, passing it a little bit more, feeding the ball, doing like a David Silva where he don't even take a touch. He just picks up the ball, passes it straight away, and then runs. He's sort of like a static goal scorer this year, and I can't think of another striker that plays the same way he does.
We've just had a really good point on. I can't remember this goal. I put the question out on Twitter, and someone's put De Bruyne's goal versus Newcastle.
Yeah.
Which one was that? Remind me.
That was the half volley.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good shout, isn't it?
It was an incredible goal, but we lost.
That changed my mind as well.
Sorry, Drew.
That's a good shout, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a phenomenal goal.
Oh, do you know what? A side-footed volley into the top right-hand corner. I think that should be. That's my favourite to know.
Wasn't it Arsenal?
No, that were. He scored a beauty against Arsenal as well.
That's the one I'm referring to. I need to look at the Newcastle one then.
Do you know what we need to do? We need to do a little montage together, don't we? For the page of goals and get everyone to vote, and we can do it. We'll do that at the end of the season. Then when we've got like half a dozen belters coming in, hopefully get another 4 against United. That'd be nice.
Yes.
Oh please! Oh, I'm getting nervous already about it. Right, let's move on. Dan, do you want to have a 2-minute rant about the under-21s?
Yeah.
Put your beard down.
Yeah. I'm not going to slag them off too much because they're only young lads, but I went to the Scunthorpe game, and it were absolutely men against boys. Scunthorpe bullied him off the ball. Taylor, Harwood Bellis, looks promising, but if I were going to watch him and as a scout, there's no way I'd be picking him out. And that's no offence to him. He might be a future City captain for all I know, but yeah, I mean, he meant to have said something to that striker about money, but them two were getting each other's stick. But that striker were absolutely pushing him off ball every 2 minutes. But I will say, the shining light, and if he doesn't become a City player, he must be going to Barcelona or Madrid. He just looks a cut above everybody else. He's Felix Nemecha. He looked like, I know they're under 21, but it looked like a man coming up pitch. He's a big lad. He pushed him off ball. He was megging people out on edge at box. And, well, like I say, he didn't score anything, but he's the only one I'd pick out of them. And it's harsh to say that, but that's how I feel about it.
He was worth the visit, was he?
Yeah, he was. I mean, if I remember when he came on against Burton in League Cup on the second leg when we'd already beat him 9-0, and I thought he looked cut above then. I thought he looked comfortable. Same again, quite filled out, young. So how he's not knocking on door, I don't know. Because Tommy Doyle were playing as well, and to me, Tommy Doyle were just too lightweight. He just, I mean, it is different in Prem. It's not as physical, but like you come up against Crystal Palace this weekend, and they're a physical team. Mm-hmm. Newcastle's a physical team. You do need to fill out a bit, and I think Foden. I know Foden's not under 21, but Foden's done that now. We've eased him in, and he seems to have filled out and bulked up a bit. And do you know what I mean? I think that's. Even though it's nice to see him playing, I think that's what they need. Another season or two. And a lot of people slag that. Is it EFL trophy or something? Whatever it is, where the under 21s play.
Yeah, the young ones.
People slag that off, but to me, under 21s playing under 21s isn't real football. You're a 17-year-old against a 17-year-old may as well be playing Sunday League. Get a 17-year-old playing against a pro who's 30, who's been about the game. That's how he learns what he is.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's the way to learn. Like getting rid of reserve football. I think that was a terrible mistake.
Yeah, agreed.
So I do think the EFL is a good trophy, and I'd love it if City had won it. I know we got knocked out, but it'd have been brilliant if we'd have won that.
It would. I was always an advocate of having a B team in the lower leagues for City, like what they do in Spain. I would have loved that. I think that would have been fantastic for our young ones coming through as well, because there would have been no excuse for like the Fodens. Who would have got that game time against the men playing football, and to see that, I think that's one thing that he's gonna miss. I think I might have stunted his career a little bit. But he's had a cracking academy, a cracking apprenticeship under Pep and the rest of the players. But I still think it would have been great to see him go to Oldham for a season, or Burnley, or whatever. Not Burnley, but you know what I mean. You know, somebody like that for a season, just to give him a few dirty knees.
Definitely.
Do you know what though? I think it's. I hate to say this, but it's a Manchester United mentality that. Got to play youth products. Got to get them in first team. I mean, I don't rate Jesse Lingard one bit, but when he was younger,
I think he's fantastic.
No, when he was younger, it looked promising, but I think he's just burnt out. I just think he doesn't seem to have developed, does he?
Mm.
But he's been playing man's football from being 17. Sometimes when you start them young, it does burn them out by the time they get 27, 20. Look, I mean, I know Rooney's back in Championship, but I was saying to my mate about Rooney the other day. He started that young. He's sort of like he could have been a better striker. You know what I mean? He could have still been at Man United, but he's sort of burnt his out and have to drop back into midfield, hasn't he?
I suppose that comes back to the point you made, Dave, probably a couple of months ago now, about the Barcelona players starting later. I suppose that makes a good point of that, really.
Yeah, the Xavis, the Puyols, the Decos, the list Iniesta, the list goes on. They didn't have anything like the number of games under the belt that Foden does at 19 years of age. They were eased in the biggest club in the world, 2-3 games, maybe a season in cup competitions, and then when they were 22, 23, that's when they were regulars and playing 40, 50 games a season. So, Dan, I think you hit the nail on the head. They've got to get that experience against experienced players. Yeah, even though he's United, I feel for Jesse Lingard a bit because I totally agree that he's just not the player he was a couple of seasons ago. And I mean, I guess from our standpoint, all we hope is that this isn't going to be the same thing with Foden, because remember, we've seen all this with Michael Johnson. We thought he was going to be the big thing, and now he runs a restaurant in Didsbury, and he still could be playing for us.
Yeah, I love Foden, and I don't want this to come across wrong to any Man City fan out there. I'm not slating Foden, but it's like what I said to you. I watched the Port Vale game, and even though he put him centre-back, he didn't really do a lot. And I don't want to just say, oh, he put him centre-back, that's man at match, because then you get players like Jesse Lingard, like Scott McTominay, not a very good player, but he puts him centre-back. We're trying to aim for a cut above that. I know it sounds harsh on Foden, but just being a City fan and that, he's got to produce as well. Yeah, I know he had much game time, and he got an assist against Port Vale, but Aguero made that goal, and he got a tap in similar to like Jesus other day where he couldn't have missed it. So I know it sounds I'm being harsh, but I think you've got to sometimes take your City glasses off and have a proper look at it.
Yeah, a thorough review. You got to be critical to look. Tough love.
Yeah,
indeed.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So, well, let's move on, chaps. Let's talk about Palace. We got to talk about Palace, and then we're going to have a few fan questions afterwards.
All right.
3:00 Saturday kickoff. What is that all about?
I know. Is that the first time this season?
What is that all about? I can't remember. But it's just nice. It's one of those where you just keep checking the fixtures just to make sure it's not been moved to 5:30 on a Wednesday night. Come on, stop it now. He's being silly. Yeah, it's great to see. It's fantastic. I can't wait for it. Actually, what do we think? How do we think we're going to do? It's a struggling team, isn't it? We always struggle against it. Well, I think
I said the same last week. I'm very much of the opinion with City this season. It depends which City turn up. I learned my lesson after Burnley when I came on the podcast, and I was, raving about this performance, and we're great. We've turned the corner. This is it now, and we go and lose at bloody home to United. So better performances recently, but I've still just got this niggling feeling that what team are gonna show up, and if Pep makes a lot of changes, which I think we all know he usually does. You don't know what kind of performance that we're going to get. On paper, yes, we should absolutely batter Crystal Palace because they're not on a good run either. But I don't know. Prediction, yes, I think we'll win, but I don't think it will be easy. And I'll go for a 2-1.
2-1, okay. Halifax, what do you reckon, pal?
I think it's going to be a bit easier than we think. I mean, I was just thinking back when we played them at their place. Am I right in thinking we played 3 at the back?
Can't remember.
I think we played Cancelo, Fernandinho and Mendy, and like Rodri were just a deep line midfielder. So I'm going to go 4-1. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. I'm going to 4-1. I'm going to say Aguero first goal.
That's good. All right. Daniel, you're up.
I think we'll have a better performance than we did against Villa. Against them. I think I saw them play on TV. Was it Saturday afternoon, and they were very, very poor. And they're still much relying on Wilfried Zaha to a degree, and even he is nowhere near the calibre he was, and I think that's just because he wants out. They haven't really got anyone bar Ayew maybe to step up their play up front, and I just see the changes Pep's going to make. Sterling's going to come in. I think he's going to be all guns blazing now. I think he's going to start Aguero, and I just see a big scoreline. So I'm going to go 5-0, first clean sheet for a while.
Nice. All right, confidence there. Come on, Dave.
Wow.
I think Walker will be giving Sarah some stick. He always gives him some stick. So, like Dan says, they rely on him, and if Walker does get him in back pocket, they're going to struggle, aren't they?
Yeah, I think Walker's a really good choice next to him with his pace. We'll come on to try and predict the lineup shortly. What do you reckon, Dave? Have you got a prediction, score prediction?
2-1. I think it'll be tight, and I would mention Ayew as well. He's a tricky little bastard, and we don't do well with tricky little players, particularly if it's Stones playing. Stones gets very confused by players who are very good on the ball, who are good at dribbling. So I'd be very careful of that. I'd be willing to put money on that if Palace score on Saturday, it'll be Ayew who gets the goal, because he's just tricky, and we don't do well with that.
I like it. Okay. Right, let's try and predict the lineup then. So we're going for Ederson in there. I know there's 4 of us here. They're all going to have a bit of contrasted differences. So we're going for Ederson in there. Are we all agreeing with Mendy, Fernandinho, Stones and Walker? So any shout for Garcia or Otamendi there?
I was thinking Stones, like Dan said, but Dave just put me off him. I feel like Otamendi. Even though he's got a fault in him, Otamendi, he smashes them. He smashes people, doesn't he?
So, see, as Dan, you were saying before as well about Palace and Newcastle being, quite tough physical teams.
Yeah.
I always prefer to put Otamendi in, even if he's got a mistake in him, against hard, physical, tough teams. He seems to relish that battle, whereas Stones, I feel, is more of your footballer he'll kind of do some of the dirty stuff, but what he prefers is to be bringing that ball out of defence.
You sold me into that, Dave.
I would prefer Otamendi back there.
Right, go on then. I'm moving on to Coolio.
Dad's being really quiet.
I'm always quiet. I don't know what you're talking about.
3 against 1 there, Dan. Sorry, pal. It's gonna be Garcia now. We all know this is gonna be Garcia starting. So obviously Rodri. Who else we having with Rodri? Should we go up front first? So Sergio, Sterling, and Mahrez.
Yeah.
Bernardo.
Do you think Bernardo?
Yeah. Mahrez.
Really? Even the way Mahrez is playing we don't know what's going on in Pep's head. You're probably right, Dan. But why do you take players out who are playing so well? That's what I don't understand.
That's Pep, though, isn't it?
To be honest, we said that other day with Bernardo. He played that well against United. He should have started, but didn't need him. So
didn't. But that's the thing. I want to get inside Pep's head to understand that, because that's what's been bred into us, right? As football fans, that if you have a winning team and played really well, well, surely you play the same team if they're all fit the following week. And Pep just tears that rule book out and does his own thing. I can't get my head around it.
Go on.
The only thing I think Dad might have a point. We play Sheffield United on Tuesday.
Just about to say the same thing. And on Sunday we play Fulham. We've got 3 games in a week. There's going to be some rotations there, isn't there?
I
don't know.
I personally would save Sterling for Sheffield United and Fulham, and I say that because I don't think Sheffield United are the paciest team in the Premiership, and I think Sterling could have a riot against them of getting in behind, with those balls that we were talking about on the last podcast. And Sterling obviously likes playing against lower league opposition as well, and again, I'm completely wrong, but I would keep with the same team that played on Sunday against Palace, and then obviously we've got the changes coming in for Tuesday and then the following week.
Oh, this is so tough, isn't it? Is there a shout to be had for Gundogan anywhere?
Bloody hope not.
You see, I reckon he probably will play because I'd play Bernardo Silva in middle against Sheffield United. It's like we've got to predict them both, innit? Do you know what I mean? We've got to try and think, who would you... But I think Dan might have a point that Bernardo Mahrez might get rested for this game.
Don't tell me that. I've got him in my fantasy football team.
Did you say it's what's the fixtures then? It's Palace, Sheffield.
Sheffield away.
In that case, definitely, I think Mahrez will be dropped because Mahrez, you got to think Sheffield play 5 at the back. It's not going to be one for a winger, a fast-pacing winger to get in behind him like Sterling or someone like that. Mahrez is a bit more technical. So yeah, Bernardo for me definitely now then on the right wing.
Lads, I've got the team. It's going to be Sterling on the right, Aguero through the middle, Jesus on the left.
I bloody hope so.
That's going to be the team.
I'd take that.
I've no idea what to put. I've no idea. I'm leaving it. I'm not doing it anymore. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely bizarre, isn't it? How you can try and...
What will be, because we've got 3 games in such quick succession, and now we've got David Silva's back again. Played okay, I think, yesterday. Was unfortunate with that free kick. I thought that was in. And so did a lot of City fans who were at the game, It'll be interesting is how much time Foden's going to get.
Foden?
Now that
what do you have? A good point.
Silva's back. Like, has he dropped down again, Foden, because Silva's now back and we can hopefully injury free, or is he gonna rotate that position as well and give Foden some time? And if so, would you play Foden in the away game against Sheffield United? To Dan's point, tough, battling, physical team, or do you play Foden against maybe a bit more of a footballing team like Palace and at home as well, and get that support behind him?
Foden will definitely play against Fulham. We can guarantee that.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll start the next 2. He'll probably get the last 10 minutes like Pep's been doing over the next 2. Because for me, same as what Dan was saying earlier, I don't like slating him, but it's almost as if we're starting to see that rush into all the games because he's not really been the player he was at the start of the season. When he came on, there was a lot of hype, a lot of energy. In the past couple of games, there's been that energy, but not that precision, not that dribbling, not that passing that he's been having recently in the games he's played. I mean, yeah, fair enough. He's only, like against Villa, he only played 10 minutes. We didn't really see what he was worth, but he just seems to have dropped off a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah, he played well against Arsenal, didn't he?
Yeah.
But like you were saying about pecking order, Dave, you look at David Silva last night linking up with Aguero, like the good old days. It's hard to think Foden was going to take that mantle, even though I think David Silva has been his best, and he's bowing out this season. Well, I think Pep's saying all the right things about that David Silva's bowing out. We're not going to resign a replacement. We've got a replacement. It's Feilden.
Yeah.
So.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? It's. I'm still looking at this formation, trying to get my head around what we're going to play on Saturday, but it's so hard to try and contemplate what's going to happen. Of course, we've got United. We got United after the Fulham game on the Wednesday night.
We play kids. I'd play kids and make sure they're younger than United's kids, so all they can't know.
Yeah, if we're playing the so-called kids against United, anyone under the age of 27 is classed as a kid to United.
We've got 4 games in 11 days there.
Jeez.
4 games in 11 days.
Yeah, and we've got go on. Real Madrid week after.
Yeah, we are.
So.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if we get maximum points out of all them 5 games, I'm never doubting Pep again. He can lose the rest of the game for a whole season for all I know. 5 games, 5 very tough games against dodgy opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Madrid's going to be a massive game, and I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to doing the pod for that. Do we know when tickets are coming out for the away leg? Dan, I'm looking at you there, mate.
What, for Madrid?
Yeah.
I think they've been and gone, mate.
They've sold already, have they?
I think our branch got 3. 3, not 3.
Have they been
3.
already? Oh, I've got one for the home leg.
Yeah, I'm going home, Meg.
I didn't realise it had gone. That's
I hate to say it, but I'm saving myself for next round. For me away leg.
Wow.
Confidence there, pal. Speaking of Real Madrid, did anyone see Vivaldi's tackle last night?
He had to do it.
I would have done exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I'm so happy for him he did it. I saw it.
Yeah.
That's the best shit hours of it I've seen in a long time. I love it. I'm a big advocate of fouls like that.
Yeah.
Hell of a lot of handbags flying around after.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of Real Madrid at all, but surely anyone would do the same in that same position. What are you going to do? Go on and let him score? Of course you're not.
I remember watching the World Cup and when Suarez did that, and I thought, what's he doing? He can't do that? And then they won the game. I was like, yeah, that's brilliant. That was one of the most brilliant things I've ever seen.
He was watching penalty, wasn't he? And you just saw him go.
Absolutely amazing. All right, well, we'll move on. We'll move on quickly. We've done our score predictions. That's fine. I'm not doing my score predictions. We all know why, because I'm useless at them. So a couple of fan questions coming in here. So bear with me here. Let me just have a quick read through these. Kevin Asago, as we said, Sterling's current form. Should he return into the first right wing position or give him Plesane? Yeah, should Sterling come straight into the team or should he be rested and get brought in slowly but surely? Good question.
Exactly what Dan Halifax said. Sterling on the right, Jesus on the left with Aguero at the middle.
Drop him straight in straight away. You won't bring him in off the bench?
I think he'll be raring to go now.
That's fine. What's your thoughts on Cancelo over Walker? Cancelo seems to be improving his defensive game, but he's still not the best for me. What do you guys think now?
No way. Definitely not for Palace.
Definitely not. And Kevin's last question is Angelino possibly for sale? Question mark.
No.
No, purely because of the homegrown thing. Homegrown player in here. So
yes, very good point.
I still think it's a little bit. Go on, Dan.
I'm about to say he's no special, but with 12 million, are we going to get an English lad for 12 million? I don't think we are.
No, I think Leicester want 60, 70 for Chilwell now, don't they? I mean, we've got three options for left back now. We have Mendy, we have Zinchenko, and we have Angelino. That's enough.
That's a fair point. Ethan Shaw's a big fan of the Jesus and Aguero regular starting together, and he's looking forward to seeing more of it. I don't know if he will see more of it, but he wants to talk more about Sterling's current form and why he's been the way he has. I think tiredness and fatigue has got to be a big part to play because we know he's a fantastic player. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Well, I've slated him for weeks on it. Not him, but Pep, on the amount of games he's played. He's sort of been like a Fernandinho, and I think Pep is either listening to these podcasts and finally agreeing with me because he's already done it with Jesus. He started to rest Fernandinho, and he's completely rested Sterling for a full game when he was on the bench. And I think he's starting to get that right now. Fernandinho came off in the middle of the second half. I think that's the first time he's been substituted this season. And I think Guardiola's finally starting to sort of understand he's getting the best out of his players now they're being rested despite the fixture congestion. And Sterling, for me, I think he just needed that one game on the bench, on the sidelines, looking at the team and how they played against Villa and just think, I really want to be out there and scoring like these lot are doing, performing like these lot are doing, and my game's dropped. I'm going to bring it on against Palace, and I hope that is its attitude.
Yeah, I don't blame him that at all. We had another good question coming from Dave Peters. A couple of good questions, and he wants to talk about the Champions League. Obviously, the tie against Madrid. What's our gut feeling of how we're going to do?
Win it, both legs.
Yeah.
I don't think Madrid are quite the force that they were. I think Ronaldo's just been such a huge miss for them. Dan, that was for you why I said that. But he was, in all honesty, I think he's been a big miss. They've not been able to replace him. I think Benzema's a good striker, but they don't seem to have that stardust that they've had.
Lingard.
Lingard, they've just not had that little bit of magic. I don't feel that they've had in the past. Modric's 34 now. I've always rated Toni Kroos.
Yeah,
I think he's a great midfielder, but I think if we're ever going to beat Madrid, this is the year that we can do it. Particularly the way that De Bruyne is playing. Aguero's coming towards the end of his time at City. I know he wants that Champions League. We all do. I think we might see a real good performance at Bernabeu and at Etihad. I think we can beat them and beat them well over 2 legs.
I'm expecting a thoroughly professional performance, both legs.
Mm-hmm.
Time to get some payback for the semi-final defeat as well a few seasons ago. Time to get payback.
Yeah. I'd be worried about Bale because he's going to be a shop window, coming back to England. If I give City a good pasting, that's the only player I'd be worried about in that Real Madrid team.
Any other players to watch out for, do you think?
I mean, their defence is fantastic. So,
yeah, but they're all knocking on, aren't they? Marcelo and all that. I think we should be going and thinking we're going to turn these over big time. Like you
Agreed.
said, Dave.
Love it.
Yep.
Love confidence, lads. I don't know if anyone's. David's mentioned about the ticket prices. They seem high. Do you think City's to blame? Do you think UEFA's to blame? My input to this is City set the pricing for premium tickets. I think I expect it. I expect to pay the big bucks to see the big teams, and I'm not surprised the prices were higher. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. I think it's far too much. But do I blame City for doing it? No, I don't. It's a business. People pay it. I paid it.
I'll say this about it. It swings and roundabouts. You can take your kid for an adult with 15 quid for Port Vale, and you took 2 kids for £1. 17 quid to watch very good football. I know we're only against Port Vale. So when it is a low quality game, they are cheap for Premiership standards. But we're playing Real Madrid. Even though I don't like paying a lot, but it is what it is. I mean, the Carling Cup, League Cup, Carabao, sorry. It were £31 for my ticket. United were selling some of theirs for like 66.
Crikey.
So
you can see why no one turned up at Old Trafford, can't you?
Well, that's it.
It's a lot of cash, isn't it? Justin Shikwa asked the question. Let's discuss our new tactics and formation. And Pep didn't use it earlier when Liverpool got injured. Why did Pep not use the formation earlier? I suppose he's got to feel around the players he's got and see what he's got in front of him to be able to play the formation he's got now. It's working. Listen, any formation that works is a good formation as far as I'm concerned. I don't really care what it is, and it seems to be working. That 3 at the back at the moment. Do you think we'll play 3 at the back against Palace?
I think it's a possibility. We did it at their place, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think we look really strong having those wing backs so high as well. I really like that. Yeah, I'd very much like to see that myself. Question from, ready for this one. Mayo Neaton. Our results in the 5 previous games across all competitions seemingly show we're getting back on track. But is it too little, too late as far as catching Liverpool is concerned? My opinion, yes, it is.
Yeah.
That ship sailed. Now we've just got to build on next season now. Build that team formation, build that team mentality for next year and go again. And if we do lose, then great. Then we just try and keep winning games.
What we've got the opportunity to do, though, is give Liverpool a good battering when we play them in February, right? Early February, we play them at the Etihad. I think we've got a great opportunity there to just kind of show them that they're not as good as they think they are. Who's to say that we don't get them in another round of the FA Cup? Who's to say that if we do well against Madrid, that we don't draw them in the next round of the Champions League? That there's opportunity, I think, this season. We're not going to catch them, but to put a marker down that we're coming back, we're going to come back and we're going to get you next season.
Yeah, I think
that's the best thing we can do.
I think we've got to draw a line in the sand of this season, just to win as many games as we can, be as professional as we can, smash as many teams as we can, so they know next season, actually, you know what, lads, you may win the league, but we are going to be right on your tails, and we want that cut back. I think that's the most dangerous thing we can put across to them.
Just back onto that. I don't know about Jurgen Klopp. I've got to say, hats off to Liverpool. He's built a good team, but he never changes his tactics, does he?
No.
He's just had it lucky that he's had no injuries and no drop of form.
Oh, don't forget they lost a couple of players for one game throughout the season. Going to all Liverpool fans, that's the same as Laporte being injured.
But so surely next season someone's got to give with them. I know I'm clutching at straws, but like we said, we've come too predictable. You could say Liverpool's lineup all season, pretty much player for player. Couldn't you?
It's a funny one as well with Klopp, because it bugs me a little bit when I see Liverpool fans saying about Klopp being a better manager than Pep, whereas Pep's mentality is to go and win everything. Klopp's mentality is, I want to win the Premier League and nothing else matters. He's playing younger formations for the FA Cup, the League Cup, Champions League, and the Premier League. His mentality. Whereas Pep is saying, right, no, hang on, I want absolutely everything, and I'm going to go and play everything. And I would rather have a manager that wants to win every single game we play for than a manager that's going to play half-hearted in two competitions, which they could win. There's no reason if they put full-strength squads out, they could go out and win those cups as well. It bugs me a little bit, actually, that Liverpool would be so blind to think that they've got a fantastic manager, even though he's degraded two cups. Frustrating, actually. I wish Everton spanked him the other week, but what are they playing at Everton?
That honestly unbelievable. It made me mad. I don't know how Evertonians felt about it.
So frustrating.
Credit to their goal, that Jones lad. That was one hell of a finish for, what is he, 18?
Oh, he's a cross.
Yeah, he missed it.
I think that's where we wrap up the night, lads. We've had an hour and 5 minutes. We've done well there.
Perfect.
Anything else to discuss before we crack on?
No.
Real good?
Yeah.
Don't you dare, Feilden. No.
Give me a V.
Right, have a good day, lads, and I'll speak.
All right, see you till we die.
Come on, boys.
Enjoy work, Dave. Enjoy work.
See you later, lads.
See you later.